folks. I do believe we are streaming, so I'm going to welcome everybody to, for the first time ever, 4 guests on Talking Ourselves to Death. I'm very excited to talk to everybody involved. Let me make sure I can make this happen. We are joined by, we've got Brusch, we have Straws, Billy's in the building. Seth is going to be joining us in a little bit. He had some business to take care of. He's attending to some business, as they say on the street. Bear with me as I just make one little thing happen. I think I need to do one other thing. Well, we appear to be mostly live, I think. All right. So first of all, Brusch, what are you eating tonight? What's the Indian dish of choice?
We got some chicken vindaloo and some garlic naan.
That sounds fantastic.
It's really working.
Yeah, nice, good, nice. You love when it works. You gotta love when it works. So, gentlemen, we're going to talk today about DEFCON. Really, the reason for the season. It's the reason we're here. You guys were the winners of the poll that I put out there of what was the DEFCON feud that would be, you most want to hear about. So your guys' feuds got the most votes. I think before I dive too deep into anything else, I think I'll start just by asking Brusch, like, did you think you'd get the most votes? Was it a surprise to you that your arc was received so well? The Keys, Elise.
I mean, like, I never go into an arc with like any sort of like expectation, just baseline, because I feel like a lot of my style is like, oh, what do we feel like doing this week? We want to do something. Oh, let's change exactly like everything about what we planned last week, and let's do this other thing instead. Like, I just go into e-betting in general with like a very low expectation for myself or anything that I'm involved with. But as it was going on, I think I knew from the first match, or the first DEFCV that we had, and then both Billy and Ford were both like, "What if we just murdered the D and had Henry Keys just obliterate this man, and like that be the first like gunshot?" And I guess that was set up on the first DEFCV, done on the second one. I think once it hit that point, it's like, oh, this is going to be fucking amazing. This is going to be fun as hell.
One of the questions I had, Billy, was I was going to ask, like, what was your favorite moment of the story, and Brusch like lays that out, and yeah, that's a hard one to argue with. But was there a moment? What were you trying to accomplish with Elise? I think I would first want to know.
I guess what I was trying to accomplish with Elise is I feel people tell me I'm wrong, but I always feel like I'm trying to rebuild. Like I always feel like I lost something after that Soho reign that she had a long time ago. And yeah. but I always feel like, well, what can I do to make people care? And then, or I think about, what's the opposite of what I would want to happen if I was watching. So I was thinking, let's just kill the D.
and you did,
Right.
So was it a surprise for you? I mean, how well received it was? Because I think, in, like you mentioned, like in your mind, you felt like you had to rebuild Elise, but I think everybody reading was like, okay, finally, here we go. Like, I feel like that was the response.
Yeah, it was actually something that Ford pitched to me. So like when Ford pitched it to me, I was like, "Are you serious? You want me to do this?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't really have anything going on for the D this arc anyway, and I got my own thing going on with Flex in the Box. So, I mean, if it helps you at all, you could see if it's something you could use." I'm like, "Sure, that's definitely something I can use."
Right. Yeah, and you did. So where, like, for you, Brusch, like with Henry Keys, obviously he's gone through this stark change in the last year and a half, however long it's been. It's weird how time seems to move, but it marches forward. But obviously he's went through this huge metamorphosis. This to me looked like just an opportunity to cement where he is because of Elise's history. Is that kind of like what you were hoping for, or what was your thoughts going in?
Yeah, I think that definitely was like Elise. Like Billy is absolutely wrong about the state of Elise Aries. Elise Aries, I told him from the get go, Elise Aries is evergreen. It just all she needs is a spotlight, and you can immediately buy that she's going to be like a main event level character for any. You can pair her against anybody. So that was really an exciting opportunity to just be like because there's been a lot of really fun feud arcs that have been in the past, and it's like who else would be just like a really like big name baby face that I haven't really had any history. Well, any history was sort of like in the background for other things in a totally different life. Like, how fun would it be to work with somebody who work with Billy again, because it's fucking Billy and Billy's great. And then like at least I think you're absolutely right that this felt like a real continued elevation that I've been very grateful about and very thankful for everybody's like constantly being like extremely generous with their characters and with their feedback and their ideas and everything. It felt like this is like, okay, well, he's set for life after this Elite series. For sure.
Well, it kind of the segue into what's coming is also beautiful, and the seeds planted along the way has been awesome. But yeah, like you are kind of joined today by people who have helped kind of make that story happen. I remember talking to you about Keys because I haven't had an opportunity to really talk to you about this, but remember how excited you were. You didn't even really tell me what exactly the character was. You just said you said it was like, it's a vibe like this. I remember sitting in my backyard and we were talking about it and you had told me about that movie. You're like, this is the movie that inspired the character in a sense. Was it the Streets of New York?
The Gangs of New York, yeah.
Yeah, Gangs of New York.
Bill the Butcher is there's sort of like
so much sense.
there's two, like the first vibe of Henry Keys back in the original days wasn't directly from it, but I just love this is a junk movie that I love. It's the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr. Like, they're not the best movies in the world, they're not the best representations of Sherlock, but I just love them. I can't explain it. So that was like the old one, and then Bill the Butcher, that vibe of like menace but weirdly funny, but like you kind of unpredictable, but outwardly polite all the time. That was what I was really trying to hope for with this character, and I'm hopefully doing okay with it. It's different. Bill the Butcher never wore pink, but
that's true. But you know, those were different times. Those were different times in your defense.
The dye had to be crazy expensive.
Right. So Billy, is it Elise? Elise? How are you?
I've always pronounced it as Elise Aries. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So are you happy with how it turned out? You're feeling like obviously she's like got a rub even from the loss, I imagine.
I mean, I've always been a big Henry Keys fan, so when Brusch got a hold of me and asked me to do this, I was really excited to do it in the first place. So like anything I felt like I could do to like help him build upon what he's already done, that's so fantastic, I was happy to do. But with Elise, like, I felt like the best case scenario is like, I want people to try to believe that she's going to win this match. Like, I knew going in that I wasn't going to win the match, but I wanted people building up to it to think she was going to win the match and then not. Because I feel like there's a lot of times like when people get paired off together, and then with my feuds they're like, oh well, this person won last time, and this is the direction it's going to go. So obviously this person is going to win. And I felt like doing something where it's like, well, what can we do to make people think that Elise can win this match? So I liked all the spots that we did where she tried to counter the repeated coins with the repeated curb stomps. I think that was my favorite part of the feud, where it's just like, can't she get him back? And then she finally does it and still can't put him away. So, I think that she definitely left better than she started.
Straws, what was your favorite moment in the feud? I want to say, if I look back at the poll, I think this is one that you voted for. If you voted, I'm putting votes in your mouth. I feel like you did. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What your thoughts on your thoughts on that feud?
Let's get into Henry Keys first of all. You have this, no, just like they touched on, I really loved the repeated coins to D, just killing him. And I think, like Billy was saying, trying to get you to kind of believe that Elise is going to win this one. And you had that kind of good resonant moment that it gets you invested in that character. You're pulling for Elise because just Keys just did this horrific thing to a friend of her, and like all the promos that came after that were just perfect and like building up to that. So yeah.
Obviously, we also have like with Billy and Straws being here, we can kind of do like a brief Declan Carey crossover, and I want to obviously come back to the other story. But how did that arc come together with Carey and Declan?
I heard that Carey was free, and then I had heard that I think I talked to Strauss about it. I can't remember if it was Strauss or someone else in Bay Victus, but I heard Carey was free and he didn't really know what to do. And previously, when I had done the Carey LaCroix feud when Brian was handling Carey, I became a real big fan of the Carey Kuriyama character, but I never actually got to work with Strauss handling Carey Kuriyama. And that was like always on my wish list to do with LaCroix before I hung him up. So I did talk him into doing like one match. I think we had that one match right before LaCroix walked off into the sunset. But to get the opportunity to do like a full feud with him was something I was looking forward to. And I think it was fun because I felt like the tables were reversed from what they were last time. Like, because LaCroix was making Carey prove that he deserved to be in Defiance. Where on the other way around, it was Carey making Declan prove that he deserved to be in Defiance. That was a fun change.
I like the way it started too was just so ridiculous, but also so perfect with the backstage stuff, and the Mario Kart. It stands out to me.
Yeah, the hall monitor.
Yes.
Carey Kuriyama hall monitor.
Carey Kuriyama hall.
Yeah, just issuing.
Yeah, because I mean, I was just really confused, like where to go with the character at that point. Like, do I lean into his like no nonsense attitude, or how do you kind of combat with that and that kind of thing? So I think we really wanted to tell the story of like, here's the perfect kind of person that would annoy the shit out of Carey just from the onset, in terms of just like, you're just here to be live stream or video game dude, you don't have like respect for the business or anything, and then like that builds up to a match where the two of them have Declan earns that respect in a kind of way. So yeah, I mean that was a blast. I mean it was funny when Billy kind of suggested at first, like, so I'm thinking like Carey hits Declan on his way down to the ring, and I'm just like on my list of things that Carey would never do. But then, like, he made the great point of like needing the match to stand out in some way, and it gets at that kind of like hot start, like right out the gate, Yeah, sometimes I think like you kind of have to go with what makes the story best in that kind of regards, and not think like, I'm not going to say like, oh, Carey's not good to do this kind of thing or something. It's just more of like, I do see the point of him, the heel coming down and getting that shot in and just rolling with it, So yeah, it was a blast.
That whole attacking him before the entrance thing, I thought of it personally as like a Carey teaching Declan, welcome to the big leagues, kid. Keep your head up at all times, or else people will kill you around here. So,
right.
It's kind of that varsity jock move,
I just had an epiphany while you guys were talking about how much of that and Carey's arc in life right now is a little bit of art imitating life. And then flashing back to Dave Victor's chat and Straw's doing everything he can to keep it like grounded, serious wrestling, and mostly me, but probably a little bit of everybody just like introducing more and more bullshit.
Right.
Probably frustrating. And like, it's like, yeah, but what if we did? And like, God damn it, I guess I'm gonna have to lean into being like a hall monitor. God damn it, I'm gonna have to do this high spot so that people will notice me because that's wrestling. That I just had that light bulb happen, and it's giving me a laugh.
A lot of pancake branding crossover conversation, I'm sure.
IHOP makes some real fucking good chicken and waffles, and I stand by it.
That's not a bad spot. Let's be honest. But what's your other highlights coming out of DEFCON? Like when we're looking at the pay-per-view as a whole, obviously we have, I want to come back to a couple things, and Seth will join us when he's able. But what stood out to you guys?
Remember DEFCON.
You don't remember DEFCON? Yeah, man, it was so long ago.
Yeah, let me do a similar.
No, but you have obviously like Gage Blackwood's return. You had Bronson Box, Mushi retiring. I thought was interesting. I didn't necessarily see that coming. I mean, I think Rob had hinted at maybe that move coming, but I thought it was also very understated and really well written. I think I tried to say it in my feedback. I just thought it was like a very sweet curtain call, which I thought was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Rob is trying to focus like David Fox in one zone and Mushi in another zone between Defiance and Prime. And I think it's a cool opportunity for him to like give them unique vibes in unfamiliar territory setting kind of thing. So I think he can do a lot of good with it.
Yeah, I didn't know that's what he was doing. That's cool. That's a neat idea. What else?
I think it's also like because he's got feet in a way like just how neither character really kind of grows within the Dangerous mixed kind of team setting. You know, who's David Fox, who's Mushigahara, and I think that was kind of like probably his idea of like splitting them up and they kind of go their own separate paths and either fed. So I'm interested to see what becomes of David Fox.
Yeah, I think the timing's really good too because like it's happening at a time where there's a lot of kind of the table's been reset after DEFCON. If you really think about it, there's a lot of returning players that could make you would imagine, pretty immediate impact, which is pretty interesting. So I think anytime you have that those type of changes in a dynamic like this, it's interesting. Oh, thank you. Oh, look at that, my bartender. She's good. Can I get a round for everybody? No, I'll send her around. It's gonna take her a while to get over there, but oh, nice. Okay, she'll get there. She's very persistent.
I feel like there's probably an opportunity here to compliment the host for his emotional gravitas of the year match with MV1 and Corvo.
For sure.
Bravo, sir.
Right. Oh, thanks, man. That was fun. Again, like I don't need to tell you. It's a story I've been trying to tell for a long time, and I'm excited about the next chapter. I think.
And speaking of gravitas, the Lucky Sevens versus Saturday Night Specials, the 1 year or maybe 2 year feud where they would touch and go and then touch and go. It's so, as someone who's been here in Defiance for a long time, it's so hard to pull that off. Like, because there's always so many moving pieces, and that the fact that they were able to touch and then come back so many times was just great storytelling and great planning. Like, I'm not sure if I could have pulled it off. So
it's kind of like it's got that old school vibe, right? The old school territories tag team feud that kind of persists. I mean, because as you describe it, I'm thinking to myself, well, is it over? Can we not continue? We can come back. We could easily come back. You could do that in 2-3 arcs, and it will be. I hope it's amazing. Yeah, I agree. That's another great point.
I was going to wait till Seth was here to bury him and say, "Hell yeah, Lindsay Troy is still pissed." They make this right. Fuck you, ADV. Fuck you, you fire breathing son of a bitch.
That's right. You hot mouth bastard. And that's from the purveyor of hot sauce. So that's a big deal. No, but I think you have to talk about Dex Joy's story as well. That whole thing. I thought again, I've talked about it a lot, I think probably too much, but I really liked the dynamic. At first I was like, this is kind of strange, the heel versus heel. But then when I saw it was face versus face, I'm like, this is cool. And I think it worked. I think it definitely worked. What are your thoughts on the Connor Dex story as it's been told? Or Dex's story as it's been told, I should say.
I'll start with my joke. What do you mean Connor Hughes is a babyface? No, yeah. The sense of Dex joy has been like it's been really like a year-long kind of progression too. I think the change, like I remember like reading this, like this is main event Dex, like this is the new angle of approach he's taking with him, and it's now like there, and that's been a really great long-term story for a single character. And fuck Hunter Fuse.
Mostly. Mostly. I mean, you know, come on. He sells a lot of merch. You got to be a little nice. Malik Garland and Frenchie. I didn't know what to expect from that match, but I really enjoyed it. I thought that was great.
I didn't know anything about like the Flying Frenchie stuff because I was in a different sect of e-wrestling. I was a TTC guy, which is where I met Linz and all those people. So Flying Frenchie was like on the other forum, so like I didn't really know of his character, but like they did a really great job of like pulling me in and making me care about what the FWO was and why it was a big deal and all that stuff, and just to have Kevin around in an official capacity and not just in a forum, look at this meme capacity is really fun.
Which is also valuable. It's also a very valuable capacity. It is very valuable. Someone's got to like those memes. But I agree. Yep. I knew peripherally, I was with the FWC as well, so the fantasywrestling.com was kind of my circle, but I had crossed over at one point, but that fed kind of died. But I was familiar with Kevin's work years ago. He's hysterical. He's a hysterical dude, so I'm very excited to see he's actually sticking around. That Flying Frenchie's story is going to continue. I think that's, and again, at first I'm thinking, well, this is clearly going to be. I kind of predicted Frenchie to win because I think Frenchie could have won and Malik would have lost absolutely nothing. But I also liked that he didn't win and that Malik, Mark Shields his way into a victory is kind of cool. So I really enjoyed that. I thought that was fun.
I think Malik could lose his ass for 3 years and still be the most hated person on the roster.
And dangerous too, because he's also crazy.
Yeah. You're right.
He's still the paper champion, isn't he?
Yes.
It's an incredible reign.
Someone look up the days on that. What's the days on the paper?
Hey, listen, no spoiler on the Jeopardy segment, please. Okay. So Seth's not here. So since we're gonna bury him when he gets here, we'll put him over now. Favorite Seth character? I don't think I've asked Straws this one yet. Favorite Seth, and again, my favorite Seth character is the last one I've read. But you have to choose one.
Seth character.
Yep.
My favorite Seth character will forever be Sonny Silver, Chairman of Prime. It was when I really got familiar with Seth's work, and I just became a huge fan. And like in my mind, Seth was over there just like killing it in this fed that I was only kind of good enough to get into, but he was like way up here, and I'm like, maybe I can get into this fed, maybe not. So he was always like this huge figure of like, this is what it is to be a great writer and a great comedy writer in e-wrestling, and it was actually one of my inspirations to make Elise in the first place. It's like, if he could be great at making him funny and also making him serious and have people take him seriously, I'm going to try to take a crack at this thing because it just looked like a lot of fun. So that's kind of like where I decided, let's give Elise a try.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, let's make sure he never knows that story. That's But I think it's still true. I think whether you read any of Seth's writing, it's very true. Like, this is what it is. This is what you want to do. Yeah. He's great. Anybody else want to jump in? Favorite Seth character? You can only have one for the rest of your life. Or two, apparently.
Billy nailed it there.
What do you say, Strong?
Objectively, Sonny's like the best. I really liked Oscar, though, I think, because when I came into Defiance, like, that was kind of, I don't know, Seth writing Oscar at his prime when he was like, feuding in like a best-of-3 series with Lindsey Troy, kind of like, we're former fists and trying to get back in the running, and it was just a good, what's at stake? Just, where you place in terms of the lineup toward the fist, it's like, wow, that's a wrestling story.
Mm.
Two people fighting for a title. Who would thunk of that, you know? But yeah, so I really liked Oscar Burns in that regard, and that was I feel like I've known Seth for years on FWC, but just never like maybe I just wasn't in the right feds or around the right time or something where it was just like the stuff that stands out now I never like saw back then, or you know, yeah, just like maybe two shift crossing in the night, however you say. But
still destined to meet. Still destined to meet. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is wild. Brusch, what about you?
Butcher Victorious. I think in the last, he's become my favorite. Like there's so many riffs you can do on the Brandon Cutler, or like name any lackey from pro wrestling, the Virgil or whoever. Like he's transforms Butcher Vic into his own unique fucking mohawk insane person. That is, I just think he's great.
I think that's an Evan creation.
An honorable mention to Titanus.
And that's because of his wife's voice acting.
I do like Titanus.
Also, it's incredible. Yeah, incredible voice acting.
Incredible voice acting.
Incredible voice acting.
Jesus. Oh, man. I think my favorite at the moment is Minute. I'm really intrigued. And I've said this to him multiple times, probably to the point where it's borderline harassment and he could have me banned. But I'm really intrigued to see like what's going on with Minute and this rebranding that's coming. I know, like I said to him in a message, I'm like, I feel like he comes from a wrestling family, so I'm wondering, is it going to be a name change that plays off that history? Like, so I'm very intrigued. And I told him, don't tell me. I just want to throw out there, these are what I think might be coming. But yeah, Minute right now for me, I'm really interested to see like where that story goes, him breaking off. And I think somebody said it last time, like he's able to write these characters where they feel real and their relationships matter. He seems to do it effortlessly, which is very impressive.
And they have such different voices.
Yeah, it's impressive. Let's see. Anybody want to bury GVP? It's the GVP segment. I really should have music for this. This is where we bury GVP. Anybody have a bad Billy? Did you ever have a bad interaction with this guy? Let's do it. Come on.
I never actually interacted with him like on any kind of. I mean, beyond just him being on the Discord or something like that. But like, I never really had a one-on-one with him. I just remembered other people who were like running ankles with him and just being like, this guy.
It's amazing. It's a legend. It's a legend. It's a customary question that has to be asked. Brusch, how about you?
I mean, he was gone before I came back, so I didn't. There was like he might have been around maybe for like the very end, because I came back in fall of 2020 after Lynn's reached out and messaged me, and this is like also like the middle of COVID, the perfect time to my most vulnerable, in need of a hobby and things to do time. She found me. So he was either like just about gone or was already gone. And all that I know about him is that he was a dick and that he was trying to do the hardcore Holly. Just book me to win the title, and then I'll win. And
I beat everybody.
And I beat everybody, and I win. And that's all that I know is like, and is that what's your plan? Yeah, fuck everyone else, and like shitty feedback apparently. So I only know him by reputation. I don't know if I'm happy or sad to have missed that. But that's what I got.
Well,
His feedback was the specifications.
No, all this is great. This is going to go great in my GVP supercut, okay?
This may be kind of spoilerish, but I have created a character in my universe now who has 2 eye patches.
I thought that was the next step for Henry Keys, honestly.
12.
Wow.
So.
Well, all right, I look forward to that.
He
that's
continues to inspire. He's so giving.
Beyond, yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. Let's see. So you mentioned Brusch that you kind of came back to Def during COVID. How did you originally find the hobby?
Oh yeah, so this was back in 2011 or 2012. I came back to being a wrestling fan in general from CM Punk, Money in the Bank, that whole thing. Like I was a lapsed fan who sort of came back, and that brought me back to it. That was the first pay per view I ever bought with my own money, like as an adult man. And like I had a couple buddies over, and one of those friends of mine, his name was Jack. His name still is Jack. It also was Jack. I realized I could have been taken the wrong way. So he was one of the guys I watched Money in the Bank with, and he and I like hyper bonded about like going back and watching old stuff from the '90s and the '80s, and like Attitude Era and all that shit. And he found fwrestling.com. Like I don't know what he's even searching for. Where he's like, hey, this weird hobby. And people just like write, and it's fictional wrestling, and it seemed awesome. And I was like, all right, let's do this together. And this happened to be right when Ultra Title 2012 was happening on F Wrestling. And so he created a character named Steve Action Jackson. Action was spelled AXION, and he was very
I remember that bio.
Yeah, that was my buddy Jack. Yeah, he was the one who introduced me to this hobby. And he came from no background in this hobby either. He just like we were just excited guys in our 20s who came back to wrestling, and we stumbled upon this thing. I created Leyenda de Ocho, the most marble mouth name of a character that's broken Spanish and English that you can probably make, and it also has to be a white guy in luchador because obviously that's cool to do. And then just like I just got hooked, and then I joined like IWF, and that's where I first ran into like Straws, and even like Brian I was over there. A bunch of people were over in IWF, and then I was doing like Intergalactic Championship with Boss's thing. I joined EPW for a little while with the character that I also regret in a lot of ways.
Who was that?
And it's Malcolm Joseph Jones.
Oh, maybe you did tell me that. Okay.
Yeah, I think he did not overlap with Ice Train.
Oh,
if I remember right. Yeah,
a pity. A pity.
And he actually had a lot of feuds with like earlier in the timeline Resin back then too. So like Straws and I would write
Eric
matches
Black.
together.
Yeah.
You know, for the television championship.
He might have been Resin by then.
Oh, really?
I think not that long ago I went back and looked. I don't know why I was going back and looking, but I think at the very end, Resin got the last win over Malcolm. I think, yeah, it was for the TV championship on some show.
Oh,
that's great.
But yeah, so that's how I got into it. It's super like even though I've been doing this now for like a decade, I still feel like a young boy in a lot of ways because it's like everybody's been doing this for much longer. I don't think I haven't found a lot of people in the hobby who joined this at or much later than when I did, which is weird and maybe problematic for this existing in the next few decades. But
way to bring the whole conversation down. That was shit. Okay.
Well, that's a great show. Let's.
I have a baby coming. He's going to be doing some fucking writing.
That's right, man. Keep the dream alive. So I'll ask Billy the same question. I feel like Billy started much earlier. Billy, you were on fwrestling.com, right?
I was on fwrestling.com. I only did like 2 things. It was like my crossover fed because I started in PTC. So I did. What was it? Was it Legion? It was what was that called? I think it was Legion, where they like brought in a bunch of people from different feds and put them in this church that they turned into like a house of fight or something, and it was like a fighting contest and like an old abandoned church, and everyone got seated and everything. And then other than that, I think all I ever do on FW is I played like Mafia games. Like I think we just played games of Mafia on the forums back in its heyday. So
I missed the forums.
But I was always too busy with PTC to like fully commit to one of those feds. But I always thought that I would prefer angle wrestling to role playing. And when I left and then came back, it was like my opportunity. I'm like, I can try this now because I'm not attached to anything. Yeah.
Nice. And so, like, when was it? What year would you get into it?
From e-wrestling or the FW?
Just in general, just a hobby, yeah.
I think I got in the hobby. I think it was 99 or 2000.
Yep.
I want to say is when
it was
I
a big
started.
boom time, I feel like. That's where a lot of people got in right around that 98, 99, 2000.
I think I was recruited out of a WWF.com chat room.
Oh, that makes sense. I could see that. People spamming the link, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I could totally see
make your
that.
own wrestler or become champion. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good. All right, let's do that. That's hysterical.
And I'm like 16 at the time, and I'm like, I'm going to be the best at this. And then realize you have no grasp on the English language at all.
Right. That's amazing. Oh, I missed that. I miss the old forums, though. I do. Brusch, do you have a preference on angle versus role play? Like, or where do you land there? Because I know you're involved in both.
Yeah, so I did role play for a very long time, and then after I was in the Ben Halcombe Fed, and the feedback I kept getting was, "We liked your writing better, but you still lost for reasons." And so I was like, "This is just stupid. Why are we writing competitively? Let's just do angle forever in all times." And then that's when I came back. I was still in very much that mindset, and then when Prime came back, it was like, "Oh, well, Linz is in charge. Linz is like somebody who's not going to be a fucking idiot about how they book things, and will give good feedback and direct feedback for whatever." And like I know that if I don't write as well as whatever, I'm going to lose. And I need actually, like, when I came back to role playing feds, is like I sort of reevaluated. It's like, do I care about winning or do I care about just like having fun with a different way of doing storytelling? And once I stopped giving a fuck about winning and losing is when I actually started doing better there and having a lot more fun doing the writing. And it became like a very therapeutic process to do the style of writing I can do there, where you can just write thousands of words and it's just about you and nobody fucking else. And so yeah, I don't think I could go to every type of RP fed, because there's a lot of hyper competitive, like weirdly aggressive ones out there that I just like browse.
I feel like the politics is worse too. I feel like the politicking can be.
It can be rough, and people can get really butthurt if they lose. And instead of seeing it as an opportunity to just tell a cool, different story than they maybe originally thought. So I think it has to be like a very specific. I don't think it would have come back to RP Feds if it wasn't the scenario that Prime is.
That makes sense, though. Why not, right? Straw is like, for you, is there, like, what are you most excited about going into this next arc from a storyline perspective? Not, aside from your characters, like, is there any story that sticks out where you're like, this is what I'm most intrigued by? Perhaps.
First of all, when are the arc docs due?
Be more specific. Which arc? You got me, Pastor.
No, well, I mean, like you kind of said, this was a reset point. So, like, I guess kind of like seeing where certain characters land. I was looking at the Night 2 rundown, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, who are half of these characters? You know, we have matches here where I'm like, there seems to be a lot more things kind of moving around, So I guess I'm interested to see, like, you know, like, what's the main event of Night 2 again?
What the fuck are you people up to is essentially what you want to know. Bear with me here. I think we got Seth joining us.
Right, well, yeah.
Bear with me.
That's son of a bitch.
I know. Well, what'd you expect? Hold on. Bear with me. And we'll get him where he belongs. And all right, Seth, how we doing, buddy? Welcome.
Better late than never. Hello.
Now the party can start. Now we can actually start, gentlemen. This is great. Do you guys want to tell Seth all the shit you've been talking? You want to catch him up?
Yeah, I said Butch Vic was your best character.
That might
No lies detected.
Oh wow! Right, it's like one of those like I don't know to be offended or complimented. Like, how do I?
I know. I'm like, no lies detected. So
Oh my god. Well, Seth, you're joining us here. We've kind of run all around DEFCON, but obviously with you bouncing into the conversation, the Oscar Burns resin story. Tell me if you can, like, how far back did that get kind of ironed out as this is the story that we're going to tell? How long did you guys know that's the direction you guys were going?
I can't remember when. I know it's been months back. I think I want to say probably just before. I'm struggling to the pay-per-view. The first time that Oscar and Resin fought on pay-per-view, I think we plotted it out around that time. Was that eventually this would be the plan? Was eventually that it would be Oscar and Resin once again at DEFCON, and then Resin going over. So
Nice. Yeah, well, obviously, like that whole story, the anti-establishment, obviously, it was like custom made. I don't know how that came together, but it played good. I'm sure there had to be this little like hesitation of, we've never really done an authority figure, or we haven't done an authority figure in Defiance in a long time. I think Oscar was able to walk a line where he didn't seem like an authority figure. He was just in charge. God damn it! I think you were able to walk that fine line. Can you tell me like, what thought kind of went into that, or I don't know. Fucking tell me something, Seth. Jesus, you've been gone. You're just showing up.
right. Well, I'm gonna say it was 100% Straw's idea. It was like, hey, wouldn't it be a cool idea to like have Oscar Burns get this power and just try to screw Resin over in a number of different situations? And I was like, that would be awesome. Let's do it. It was something that I did clear with staff because, again, it's like we've always tried to avoid like kind of the typical like the crappy heel authority figure that just openly screws over everybody and is crappy at their job. So we tried to spin it in a way where it was like, okay, well, Oscar has, he's been like the face of the company for a while. At one point, he has some equity as a character, so it's like, okay, I could see a reason where he could use that experience and say, oh, hey, favorite Saints, I've been here a while. I got these ideas. Let me know what you think about this, this and that. And so, he always tried to play it up like, oh, the people love Resin, so we're going to give more Resin in these matches where we're clearly going to try and fuck Resin over. And so, yeah, it was fun. On one hand, it's something that I wish I had more time with. I think I might have had more fun doing it over the course of an arc or two. But at the same time, it borders on that authority figure type character that clearly has a shelf life. So hopefully if that entertained everybody, I was happy with it by the end of everything when it was all said and done. Straws, you deserve like a big ass amount of credit for the work you did, all the writing you did. You had the idea for it and you knocked it out of the park like each and every show that we did. So, it's been a blast working with you. So
Well, that's awesome. Straws, how about from your end? Did you obviously you went into it with an interesting story. Resin had quit, then he had come back to face Oscar and kind of go through that battle. Did you get what you wanted out of that story, or tell me about that process? Or don't? Did I lose him? Either I don't know. Oh, well, maybe the dog
He's
can
sitting
answer.
perfectly still.
Maybe is that Tarly?
This is Tarly.
Is it Tarly? Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's Tarly.
Is that Jersey mixed dog also?
This is one of Jersey mixed dogs. Lilu is in the basement, I think.
Okay. Well, listen, I respect that. Amazement, Tennessee. We may have lost Strasma. I'm not sure what's going on there. Straws, can you hear us, bro? Oh, there it is. Oh, I think he knows. He figured it out. He's gonna rejoin. Everything's fine. Oh boy, maybe let's see here.
I thought he was just sitting perfectly still.
This is just because I put him over. Dang it.
Yeah, it could be. That might be him now. Is he going back up? Maybe. All right, there we go. All right, so now that we have the whole gang together, I'm very nervous about this, but I think it's time to attempt the game show segment. So if you'll bear with me.
Oh no.
This once again is Jeopardy. It's going to be 4 players for the first time ever. I'm very excited about this.
Oh no.
I completely fucked this up putting it together. It's going to be horrible, but just accept it eagerly and greedily. We never got to a Final Jeopardy last time. Maybe we'll actually have a Final Jeopardy this time. I'm really hopeful we have a Final Jeopardy this time. Please do not answer if you don't know the question. It might end poorly for you. Make sure you answer in question form. You're going to buzz in by calling out your first name, and I will do the best I can to navigate this. Bear with me here one moment. Make sure Seth is visible. And yes, this is one of the greatest theme songs in history. I mean, if you're not vibing to this, then what's wrong with you? All right, so obviously you know the rules of the game. I don't need to tell you. It's gonna be incredible. Let's see if I can pull this off without completely botching everything. So first, let's take a look at our categories. Okay, our categories are Deathcore Delinquency, Radio Magic, Defiance, Manager Madness, and instead of Never Been Kissed, Never Been Fist. Okay? But they may have been fisted. I want to be very clear. I don't want to give you the impression that these people have never been fisted, but they've certainly never been fist.
It's going to be the Sean Connery here.
Oh god. All right. So here's how we're going to do it. Since Seth was the last one to join us, Seth is going to pick the category, the first category. Let me explain the categories. Excuse me. So Deathcore Delinquency would be anything having to do with our Discord. Radio Magic would be anything having to do with Defiance Radio. Defiance is questions that pertain to... The answer is a wrestler's name that has a D in it. Okay, so there's a D in the name. Manager Madness, questions pertaining to managers. And then, like I said, Never Been Fist. These are people who have recently wrestled for the fist but did not win. All right, so are you all ready to play? Okay.
Yes.
Now
Ready
it's
as I'm
time.
gonna be.
I'm going to ask. Yeah, that's probably the correct answer. Wow, for 200 points, Billy. Congratulations. You're off to the races. Now, let me pull something else up over on this screen. Okay. So, Seth, I'm going to allow you to pick a category, sir.
Okay. Let's go Never Been Fist for 100.
Never Been Fist for 100. The answer is he lit a fire on the singles division until he got burnt himself in the end. Seth, go ahead.
Is it Alvaro de Vargas?
Oh, I'm sorry. Anybody else?
Oops.
Anybody else? Anyone? Remember to answer in question form. Remember to answer in question.
Yes.
Oh, Ben.
Go ahead, Brusch.
Who is Alvaro de Vargas?
Ah, very good. The answer is who is Alvaro de Vargas?
I was really confused for a moment.
That's right. Listen, folks, I hate to be a stickler for the rules, but, you know, the game is the game.
The rules are the rules.
The rules are the rules.
That's fair.
So, Ben, you now have the lead, and you control the board.
Great. Never Been Fist for 200.
All right. Never Been Fist for 200 points, the answer. A former Brazen standout, his career has been well polished by an aging cougar as of late. Strasma with he got in. Straws, go ahead.
Who is JJ Dixon?
Who is JJ Dixon? That is the correct answer for 200 points and control of the board. Go ahead, Straws.
Straws. Never been fisted for 300.
All right. For 300. Excitable and energetic, this performer most recently competed for a shot at the fist, but was outgamed.
Ben.
Brusch, go ahead.
Strasma.
Who is Connor Fields?
Connor, very good. Correct answer for 300 points, regaining the lead and regaining control of the board as he takes a drink of something that looks... Canner, yes.
Iron Manhattan kicking in. Let's go. Never been fist for 400.
All right, going straight down the line for 400 points. I want to remind you, folks, there is a daily double hidden somewhere on the board for 400.
Oh, boy.
He will cite you for your infractions and violations, but all for the greater good of the public.
Seth.
Seth, go ahead.
Who is Sergeant Safety?
Correct for 400 points, and Seth is in the game. I want to check in on a wellness check with Billy. Billy, how's your buzzer, buddy? How you doing, friend?
That's slow.
All right, Seth. Seth, you have control of the board.
All right, let's just close this out. Never been fist, 500.
Thank you, babe. All right. For 500 points, the answer is the only person not yet named in this category who has also challenged for Lindsay Troy during her current reign for the fist.
Strasma.
Straws, go ahead, Straws.
Who is Sergeant Safety?
Oh, Sergeant Safety has been answered. I'm sorry. That is a wrong answer. Anybody else?
Oh, God damn it. I forgot that part. Shut up.
Seth.
Seth, go ahead.
Who is Brock Newblood?
Who is Brock Newblood for 500 points? Seth taking a commanding lead. Unbelievable.
I was almost going to say Pat Cassidy, but he challenged for the Soher that same show, if I remember right.
He was. That's exactly.
Great show. Great show. All right. So, Seth, you're back in control of the board.
Manager Madness 100.
Manager Madness for 100 points. Known for, among other things, his old school mic.
Billy.
Billy, let's hear it.
Strasma.
Yeah. Who is Sonny Silver?
Who is Sonny Silver for 100 points? He's on the board for 100 points. Go ahead, Billy.
You better have gotten that one, Billy.
I'll take Manager Madness for 200.
All right, for 200 points. He may be a junior, but the chip on his shoulder is not.
Strasma.
Seth.
Straws, go ahead, sir.
Who is Tom Morrow?
Who is Tom Morrow? That is the correct answer for 200 points. And crawling out of the basement, Strasma takes control.
Strasma.
That's right, Strasma. He takes control of the game.
Like a Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all. All right.
Radio Magic.
All right, Straws, you have control of the board.
Radio Magic for 400.
Oh, shit. Radio Magic for 400 is your daily double. Your audio daily double. Oh, unbelievable.
Game Shark.
All right, now somebody's going to have to remind me how this works on Jeopardy. Does Strasma automatically get a shot at answering this before you guys? I think he does, doesn't he?
I believe so. Yeah, I think so.
Does he, but he wouldn't lose points if he gets it wrong, or would he?
He wagers an amount, and then whatever he wagers, if he is correct, he gets it. If he's wrong, he loses it. And I think if you're in the negative, you can do up to like 1,000 on the show.
What? Oh, I mean, shit. Let's do it. Do you want to do that, Strauss? Oh, I'll follow that rule.
Let's do 300.
All right, so okay, so your wager is 300. Now, Strasma, I need you to listen closely. Now, remember, this is Radio Magic for 400. I'm gonna play for you a song. You need to complete the lyric. Okay, this is a portion of a song, a classic song in my modest estimation, featured on Defiance Radio, and I need you to complete the lyric. Are you ready? Here we go. Yes, there were times.
Yes.
I know you knew when I would catch. Yes, there were times I know you knew when I would catch a whiff of you, but through it all Can you finish the lyric, Straws?
What is I did it my way?
I want to give it to you. But no, I'm sorry. Here it is.
I have no fucking clue. What is it?
Go clean your ball sack. Go clean your ball sack.
Same thing. I can see how you get confused.
Yeah.
All right, so actually, this is actually negative 400.
It is not Straussman.
All right. So, so that didn't work out for you. But what a moment in history. All right, so Strasma, even though you lost that, you still have control of the board.
Let's do Radio Magic for 300, Alex.
All right, for 300, the two wrestling analysts who joined Lance Warner throughout the most recent episode to give their thoughts on DEFCON. Must name them both.
Seth.
Go ahead, Seth.
It was Tim Tillinghast and Ryan Scott.
Very good for, 300 points there and a commanding lead, Seth. This is embarrassing. Continue. Take control. Oh, and we lost Seth. Well, fuck you very much, Seth.
His points get equally distributed to the other three contestants.
I think that only seems fair. That is the only that's the only fair thing to do. We'll give him a minute to see if he reconnects, and then otherwise we'll continue. Oh, he's back. All right, Seth, you're back. He's back. Seth, you have control of the board, my friend.
My internet. DEFCON delinquency 100. Sorry, I think my internet dipped over here.
No worries, man. For 100 points, Brian recently changed the name of this channel to hashtag Def Intent to be Jacked.
Ben,
go ahead.
what was hashtag Def Jacked?
That's right. What is Def Jacked? Or what was Def Jacked? Rest in peace, Def Jacked. We'll miss you. Ben, go ahead, sir.
Let's go Defiance for 500.
Oh, shit. He wants to get in this game. My man is a gambler, and he's like, you know what? I got 500 points. Let's go. For 500 points, here's the question. Scottish Deaf alumni who made his return at DEFCON. Straws, go ahead, sir.
Who is Gage Blackwood?
Who is Gage Blackwood? Very, very nice. Back in the game and back. Strasma is in control of the board. Go for it, brother.
Can I tell you what my brain did? Is like Scottish Bronson Box.
That was kind of
shit. There's no D in Bronson.
Came back at DEFCON?
That was kind of. I was going for that. I was going for that. All right. So Straws, you have control, sir.
Yeah. Let's do Manager Madness for 300, Alex.
All right. The answer is may or may not be the English Lord he claims to be.
Straws.
Billy.
Straws, go ahead.
Who is Lord Nigel Bush?
Who is Lord Nigel Bush? For 300. He's actually a nephew of George W. Bush, but he doesn't want to talk about it. Who is Nigel Bush? All right, so Straws.
That's fair. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, you're fine. Go for it.
Manager Madness for 400.
Okay, for 400. This sexy silver-haired siren probably has a SAG card. Straws.
Who is Terry Melton?
Very good, Straws. Very good. All right, here we go. Come on. The close-up, I see. There's our next GIF. Go ahead.
Let's finish Manager Madness for 500.
Mm-hmm. Was last seen in Def as a mouthpiece for the Dangerous Mix.
Seth,
go ahead.
Who is Eddie Dante?
Who is Eddie Dante? For 500 points. That's a big one. All right, so Seth, you are in control.
Good deep dive.
Radio Magic 100.
All right, for 100. This is how many official episodes of Def Radio have been produced. If you're within, go ahead, Brusch.
What is 11?
The answer is what is 13, but that is correct answer for 100 points. Well done, sir. All right, so well done. All right, so you have the control of the board and back in the game.
Defiance for 400.
All right, here he goes back to the big chips. He's going for those purple chips, folks. All right, he is not playing. All right, for 400 points in Defiance. Outfoxed a Frenchman at DEFCON.
Ben.
Go ahead, Brusch.
Straws.
Go ahead, Brusch.
Who is Malik Garland?
That is correct. Malik Garland is a very troubled young man, if you must know. But more about that at 11. Brusch, back to you.
Manic.
Death Court Delinquency for 500.
Okay. All right, for 500. You know what? Because you're like you're one of the top 5 delinquents. So you're like, this is my category. I'm going for the money. Here we go.
You're like, I got this shit.
This is mine. He goes. This is the only chance I have to crack in. Here we go. All right, for 500 points. An extraneous channel that Brian recently added to Nonsense section himself. 500 points. Oh, I'm sorry. Ran out of time. The answer there is, what is Def Comics? So no points
Oh,
there.
damn it. That was him. That's right.
No points there, but I'm really excited to use this one. I'm really excited. So thank you for that opportunity. I really appreciate that.
Find that sound effect. I wanted to use it.
Oh my god! All right, so go ahead, Brusch. You have control.
Radio Magic for 500.
All right, for Radio Magic for 500. Referred to himself as a candy corn apologist on the Halloween 2022 episode. Seth, you have it for 500 points.
Who is Malik Garland?
Oh my god, and that might be it, folks, as he's just walking away with it. He's walking away.
Are you sure? I think I still have a shot.
You might.
I think you got this, Billy.
As a
You got it, Billy.
Oh my god!
We're rooting for you, Billy.
Oh my god! As a matter of fact, this kind of makes me want to just remove Billy from the shot entirely. I'm just kidding. All right. So Seth has control here in more ways than one. Go ahead, Seth.
I only remember that question because I spent a long time having Uriel bury Malik Garland on the Def comments afterward. Fucking candy corn. What the fuck?
You know?
Defiance 100.
Defiance for 100. This Midwestern day drinker is one half of your unified tag champs. Straws, go ahead.
Who is Brock Newblood?
Who is Brock Newblood? Strasma in the game, folks, and in control.
I like that required you to know Pat Cassidy and Brock Newblood.
Yeah.
Because they both had the D in it. That was it.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, shit. Cassidy does have a D in it.
Yeah. Straws, you're in control, sir.
Let's do Defiance for 200.
Defiance for 200. Was a goofy comedy character in his first run in Def. This time he is portrayed as a more straight-ahead, true blue babyface. What hasn't changed is the mask.
Ben.
Go ahead, Brusch.
Strasma.
Who is Masked Violator 1?
That is correct for 200 points. And control the board, sir. As we look at the board, I'm going to take a look at the score here, if I may. It's incumbent upon me to point this out that there's still a possibility here. A possibility exists depending on Final Jeopardy. This could go any number of ways other than Billy's. So let's talk about it. So Brusch, you're in control. Go ahead, sir.
Def Court Delinquency for 400.
400. The only channel to date with a defined expiration date, it focused solely on a fruit-infused home-baked good beloved by all that may or may not be improved by the addition of coconut.
Ben,
Go ahead, Ben.
what is hashtag Death Banana Bread?
Holy shit, he's done it for 400 points. High roller at the table. High roller at the table. All right. So Ben, you're riding high, baby. I get it, man. Take a second. You got the vapors, but do you have the next category?
Let's keep rolling. Let's strike while that iron is hot in Deathcore Delinquency for 300.
For 300, this Scott created channel lives under the merch subsection. Billy? I know, like, I'm as unsure as you are, Billy, but yes,
Yeah.
you got it.
What I have to lose, I can't win.
Yeah.
What is hashtag shirt designs?
That is the correct answer, Billy, for 300 points. What a moment.
That's swagger.
All right, now I want to also point out here that if Billy gets the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, he might have a chance here too. So, Billy, you just have to win out. No pressure. Go ahead.
Let's do Defiance for 300.
Defiance for 300, Billy. The answer. This New England-based beer guzzler is no stranger to tag team gold in Defiance.
Billy.
Billy, go ahead.
Who is Pat Cassidy?
Who is Pat Cassidy? He is one half of your unified tag team champions. You guys, a little foreshadowing there. Well done. Go ahead, Billy.
We'll do Deathcore Delinquency for 200.
All right, for 200. The number of people who have posted in hashtag welcome.
Ben,
Go ahead, Ben.
what is one?
What is one? That is accurate, and it was Brian.
You got us all under.
No fucking way. $200.
Because he like held up a
What is 57?
he held up a slipper.
Because you got us all under penalty of death if we post in that chat. So nobody posts in that chat.
No one's gonna post in that chat. He's like, I will sell the server or something. Like he was like, I'll sell it to whatever. All right. So Brusch, your final category and your final question is Radio Magic for 200. I want to thank everybody for playing. This has been a blast. Here we go. The answer. The number of people. Oh shit. Say what? Here we go. Now here's really the answer. All right, here we go. For 200. This NPC character recently made their deaf debut embedded with an odd superfan. Oh, I gave you all the time in the world. I'm so sorry. The answer is Chris Trutt. He made his debut with Jersey Mick, shopping for pimento cheese and bologna and yogurt. All right. So here's where we stand.
Chinook's grocery store in St. Louis.
Hey, listen, Chinook's grocery store brought to you. Yeah, they're our sponsors. All right, so here's the scores. As you can see, let me see if I can bring it up even better. We have Strasma with 900. Ben's got 1800. Billy's got 700. He can make something happen. And Seth with 2200. So this is the time of the show where I have to give the final Jeopardy. But first I have to give you the category so you can wager your dollars. So the category, folks, is going to be Acts of Defiance History. That is the category. Acts of Defiance History. I'll give you a couple moments to write down your wager. How much will you wager? And again, oh, this is so exciting. All right. All right, so has everybody got their wager all set?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's the question. You'll have 30 seconds to write down your answer. I'll know you're done because you waved at the camera. Isn't this exciting? Okay, the question is, and there's one of two answers you can get. This was one of the main event matches for Acts of Defiance 2021. You have 30 seconds. Your time starts now. What happens? The time's up. Hold on. There it is.
Oh shit!
No. $20 seconds. Strasma, don't try to cheat off Billy, okay? That divider between you is real, okay? It's 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1 second. Pens down, please. Pencils down. Come on. All right. Thank you so much. I guess we'll start first with Strasma, who... no, we start with Billy, because Billy has the least amount, right? Is that how this works? So,
I think so.
All right, so we're going to try to do this by the book, and we'll see if I can... someone's going to need to do the math. All right, so, Billy, the question asked was, this was one of the main event matches for Acts of Defiance 2021. What was your answer?
So my thought process was that if I waited as little as possible, maybe everyone else will lose.
Interesting.
So my mind blanked out, and I could only think of what I was doing around that period of time, and I don't think I was in the main event. But it's what is PCP versus the Lucky Sevens?
I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
Yeah.
That is incorrect. So how much did you wager? Can you show us?
Just 100.
Just 100. All right, so Billy goes down to 600, but still alive. So now we go to Strasma. Strasma, what was one of the main event matches for Acts 2021? SNS versus Lucky Sevens. That is a correct answer.
Ooh.
That is a correct answer. Yeah, that is a correct answer. Now, can you tell me how much you wagered? 420. I love this guy. I love this fucking guy. All right, so that keeps him in third place, folks. Strasma! That keeps him in third place, firmly entrenched in third place. So I congratulate you there, Straws. Well done. Brusch, what's one of the main events? What'd you have?
So we're about to witness a precipitous fall from second place to fourth place.
Oh, no.
Because I didn't have any fucking clue, and that did way too high. And so for the whole thing, it's a Saturday Night Special.
Oh, man.
And it did not work.
Listen, that's why he's the gambler, folks. He is the gambler at the table. And I saw it. Yes. Okay, we all saw it. All right, so Seth, this could be Strasma walking away with the win is kind of where we're at here if you got this wrong. So what did you answer? What was one of the main event matches for Acts of Defiance 2021?
I remember it coming up recently, so I said Lucky Sevens versus SNS.
Very good. That is the right answer. And how much did you wager, if it really matters?
I wrote it upside down from my actual answer, so I'm flipping around 500.
500, so that puts you at 27. Well done. And Seth is our champion. Well done, Seth. Well done. Wow, unbelievable. All right, folks. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right, so let's talk, if I can, let me get through this nonsense. Seth, I don't think I asked you. Maybe I did. Have you talked at all about like what you're most looking forward to? Kind of shift gears here, talk more about like heading into Maximum Defiance. What's the story you're most excited about?
There's a couple. I'll say kind of right from the top. I think Lindsay, Troy, and Dex Joy, because if they don't do a bit where we rhyme Troy and Joy, what are we even doing here?
Right. There's a song parody like waiting to be written. I don't know what it is.
Yes,
but like it's
there is, but it's out there. You'll find it. You'll find.
No, not if you find it first, you son of a bitch or straw.
Okay.
Bastard.
All right. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll try.
Challenge accepted.
No, but just like as far as I remember, I don't think that those characters have even so much as interacted. I think they had one. When we had the Acts of Defiance tournament, I think they had one segment together, and I believe that's it. So I'm really excited to see kind of those two collide because they're so different stylistically, character-wise, but both are like two of the top characters, period.
Mm.
So I think that could be a blast. That has potential to just kill it. And I'm not just saying this just because both of them are here, but Resin, Henry Keys, this has been building for a long time. So,
Like I was
It
actually
could
just
be
looking
Henry
at
Keys and High Flyer 4, you know. I mean,
yeah, Penny, you get the 4 defenses, of course. But
Yeah,
if
I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about, Seth, because there's no way
Yeah,
that
he
that's
gets
ever
that.
happened. There's no way that's ever
that's
happened.
true, yeah. He hasn't even, yeah, that's true. He hasn't even made a first successful defense yet. So, but if that happens, that would be cool.
We're counting 4 chickens before they hatch, you know.
That's true.
I
Yeah,
love it. I can't.
that's
wait.
true. That's very true.
Yeah,
I know.
that's a
I'm
good
trying to
answer.
remember too. So I'm on staff. So I'm trying to remember what ones I can talk about and what ones I shouldn't. So
Correct.
to be fair,
But
No,
this
no,
is
no,
neither because it's not one. So you're.
and
fine.
we're just waxing hypothetical. That's it. We're just.
Yeah, it's funny because I have a partner and it's fine. You know, you don't need to worry about what I've got cooking because Resin's not going to be in the picture, so it's fine.
Wow, that's deep. That's all right. Well, now you've heard it here first.
That cut.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Brusch. So I have for you and Billy because neither of you have been on this bad boy, I believe yet. But push, put over, or bury, right? So this is the classic. You have to choose 3 handlers, past or present, and that's the other thing I think sometimes that gets lost is it can be past or present. 3 handlers. You're going to push one. You're going to put over another. You're going to bury somebody.
Okay. Honorable mention, of course, to Lynn's, but also like how much can you be pushed or put over when you're already at the very fucking top of the mountain? So there's no more push to push.
Mhm.
So just honorable mention there. Push Strasma forever. Put over Billy forever. Strasma and Billy are just 2 of the greats and just need to be recognized for that forever and all times. And Seth, honorable mention, that's it too. It's a similar kind of thing. It's like, well, Seth is also at like the very fucking top already too. So it's like,
It's true.
you know, and I'm not just saying that because you're on the fucking call. It's legitimately like you 2 are 2 of my favorite writers, favorite people to work with. It's been a blast forever and all times to get to share doing this hobby with you. It's really been a very like helpful thing for me to work with cool people, creative people who are also like empathetic humans, and just it's meant a lot, and I mean it. So, with that being said, Barry Rowland.
I knew it was going to be either him or Ross. Like I knew it was probably Ross. It was probably Roland.
Barry Rowland. Connor Hughes is not a baby face. I don't care how many shirts he sells or how many little 8-bit tracks he plays for special on his pay-per-view entrances. It doesn't matter because he abandons friends. He's abandoned his brother, who's probably, if you look at the win-loss records in Defiance history, Tyler Hughes has a higher win percentage than Connor by a lot. He has all of Connor's wins and like 15 fewer losses. So what's Connor even doing? So, like, I don't even get what he's even trying to compete with Marcus for, like, the number 1 contender with Dextroid. Like, it's always was going to be Dex. There's never going to be Roland's character. Come on, like, Connor Hughes. Let's be real.
Oh
Let's
god.
be real.
Oh, all right. So we're burying Roland. I think you just did. You buried him, his characters, and like the next 3 generations.
Is there anything left of Roland that you would like to bury before we go?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck him for making me post the shows this week.
Yeah, who else does he have? We got Gage Blackwood. All right.
Fuck him too.
All right, Scottish Hangman, what you got? Let's go.
Oh my god, I love it. Billy, you want to put over, bury?
I'm going to push Joe just because as much as I love Saturday Night Special stuff, Ned Reform is one of the things I look forward to the most on every single Def show that comes out. It's just seeing what in the hell Ned Reform is up to next, because it just gets more and more entertaining as it goes. And I honestly also love to see what Pat Cassidy could do at a singles run. Like, I would love to see Pat Cassidy with the Fist of Defiance. Like that is something I think would be a big moment in Defiance.
Definitely.
I'm going to put over Marcus.
Yeah.
Because I remember how jazzed I was when I heard that Marcus rejoined Defiance. Because I actually touched base with him in LOC when I was there with Seth and Lenz and all those people, and that's where I met Marcus at. And I had worked with him a lot with, I think it was Sarah Winterton, I think I worked with him with, and I worked with The House, I think, when I was in LOC. And then it was always so much fun to work with him. And then when I heard that he was coming into Defiance, I got really excited about the chance to work with Marcus again. So, and I am going to bury Ross because the pure evil of coming up with the Mallet Garland character in the first place, especially with how much he captured my heart when he was Clyde Fox in GCW. The little kid who wanted to be a professional wrestler when he grew up, and then to join Defiance as Mallet Garland years later, it's like, what happened to you, Ross? What did the world do to you?
Right. Show us on the doll. Show us on the doll.
Right.
Oh my god, that's horrible. That's horrible. Well, I think too, obviously we're burying the Irmermanians, and that's because we're paid to.
True.
Brian's check cleared today, actually. So yes, Brian, we're burying both of them.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Brian bought the drinks, which is nice.
Jokes for him. I'd have done it for free.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all are getting paid?
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. There are royalties. There are royalties. Right now, I looked. The highest rated episode, the most views, is the Joe and Gorman episode. So I'm thinking, okay, more people, more viewers. This is your chance, guys. Also, Jeopardy segment. You guys, this is the Monday Night War, essentially. And you guys,
Jerry Cure Young all over again is what you're saying. You got to do a fucking high spot, kid, or else you're not going to get featured.
Listen,
Do a flip.
It's about being marketable in today's day. Oh my gosh. All right, well, guys, I want to thank you. I don't want to go too late. This is awesome. I really appreciate everybody taking time out to do this. Defiance is awesome, and I think when you think about, like, we say it all the time. I say it all the time. The press conferences, the feedback, Joe's stuff with the video game. Like, can we talk about how ridiculous that is? Like, oh my god, he's killing it.
Fucking amazing. That's yeah.
He's killing it.
Amazing.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
Scott with the polls, like, all this shit is just so awesome. I really appreciate people participating. It makes it so awesome. And I do think it's important also to point out for anybody who maybe is tuning in late that Seth completely creamed these guys. Brusch had a chance. Brusch was there, and Strasma had an opportunity to kind of come in as the Cinderella story, and Billy played.
I spectated.
Billy was in the game. No, but honestly,
I answered like twice.
you did. No. You did good when you were.
But you came in third, bro.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's true.
Hey, you know.
Oh man, you guys are awesome. Thank you again for taking time to do this. You guys are great. Thank you for everybody watching, because I think we got some people.
Yeah.
So. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.